Take your face off. The best in me just rested me and helped me reach my destiny. What up? What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. Thursday, NBA Talk with Jay, man. Y'all know how it is. We got our guy Ronald Cabang here back on the show, man. My guy, you Capper, man. Love to see him once again here, man. We got to get out to Vegas once again, man. What's up with you,
Yeah, for
Ronald?
sure.
Everything cool with you and the family? How you been, my brother?
Yeah, man, you know how it is. I told you, some stuff with the family is tough to deal with right now, yeah, at our age. But man, other than that, man, it was the holidays. Spent time with cousins that came into town. I hosted a lot. Like people, three out of the 4 weeks in December, I had family staying over at my house. So it was fun times, man. It was fun times. Hopefully I know you were sick for a little bit, but hopefully the holidays were good for you too, man.
Man, sick as hell, man. Now the baby's sick, but it's all good, man. It's all good. We're gonna get past this, man. But that's not what the show's about. The show's about NBA picks, man. We're trying to get some cash. Hope everybody's out there doing well, living life, taking care of your family. Hopefully, y'all not sick, 'cause I know there's like a sickness going around everywhere, man. But
Yeah.
it's all love on the show, man. We're not here to waste your time. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you really do like the shows, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You could also download the Action Network app as well. It's all free. Go check them out over there. A ton of NFL content, whatever you like to bet. There's content, podcasts, and projections, all type of stuff over there, man. But like I said, we're not here to waste your time, you my guys. So let's get straight to it. In this one, we do have an early game here, 2 p.m. Eastern start here. Paris game here, guys. We're going to the streets of Paris. And this one we got the Cavs laying 3.5 at in Paris, not at the house, but in Paris versus the Brooklyn Nets in this one, Ronald. I'll tell you right now, man. Them games that's across the way be kind of tough for me. I don't really know what's gonna happen. You see what I'm saying, Ronald? How you looking at this game, my brother? Cavs laying 3.5 versus the Nets.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't take anything on this game either, but I know some of these neutral sites they tend to trend towards the under, especially in the more recent years. This was something that we were discussing in one of my chats. But from a side perspective, I know the Cavs definitely have the momentum on their side. Nets have lost 11 of the last 13, and in those 13 games, they only covered two, right? Two out of the 13 games they covered. Based on the whole neutral site trend as well. Some of the statistical stuff I was kind of talking to you about it before the show. The Nets sixth in percentage of points from three, but in the league, but Cavs are top 10 in 3-point defense, so they're going to limit the amount of 3-pointers. Cavs give up points off turnovers, but the Nets are dead last in creating turnovers, so that's going to limit them there too. And then both teams bottom 10 in pace, so that kind of trends toward the under. Both the Nets top 10 in second chance points, and then the Cavs are a good rebounding team, so that's going to limit the Nets opportunities for second chance points as well. So a lot of the statistical interactions that I look at, that it says that it's going to limit the Nets points opportunities. And so for me, if I was betting this game, I would probably look towards the Nets team total under, or towards the Cavs side. I know, like I was talking to you about this too. I know it's kind of early on in the season, but if you think about where the Cavs are in the division, I think it's three wins under the Bucks and or something like that. But they got to really take advantage of this period where the Pacers are going to be without Hallie if they want to take the division lead at some point.
Yeah, no, that's a good point there, man. This obviously is a tough game for me, man, to be honest with you. And if it was at the house, if it was Cavs, obviously wouldn't be getting 3.5 if the Cavs were at the house. But if they were at home in this game or they were playing in USA, probably even in Brooklyn, then I'd probably be on the Cavs here. But when you have the game that's abroad, I don't really know what's gonna happen, to be perfectly honest with you, man. Guys in the chat, somebody liking Nets first quarter, first half, somebody else liking Ricky's liking Cavs in the first half. He said, I hope Nets Fox 5 says he hopes the Nets start strong so he can get on the Cavs live. We know that the Cavs are the better team, but also, like Jeremy said, you never know which one of these teams are over there in tourist mode, right? These two teams got over there a few days early. They've been touristing in Paris. You see what I'm saying? So you never know what's the mindset going to be for some of these players. It's damn near like a vacation. You see what I'm saying? That's why I feel like these games are the hardest to bet. I know this is the first game up, 2 p.m. Eastern. Everybody's going to want to bet it, but I do think this is a very volatile game. Like I think there's a lot of volatility in this game, in this one, my
Mhm.
guys. So I gotta say, in Paris, Brooklyn Nets on the money line, they like a Nets plus 3.5. The Nets would be the contrarian play here. Most of
Mhm.
the people that I'm seeing, everybody, I don't think I really see, other than in the chat, nobody really is liking the Nets today, not even really giving them a chance here. So
Yeah.
you just never, I mean, obviously the Cavs are the better team and they've been balling, but we can't forget they are still missing two of their top players over there. So
Mhm.
you could kind of argue that the Nets have more depth here at the guard position. We know that they don't have a ton of depth when it comes to the bigs. Pretty much just Dorian Finney-Smith and Nick Claxton over there, because I believe Day'Ron Sharp got injured as well. So Jared Allen he obviously has a major he has a major mismatch in this particular game. Possibly he could have a great game, but after that, I'm not really trusting Tristan Thompson. I know you hadn't given him bad, horrible minutes, but I'm just not. Tristan Thompson probably one of those guys got over there and it's like, oh, let's go shopping, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's get the shopping.
I didn't even realize the total went down so much to 222 or 222 and a half.
Yeah,
Because last time
with
I saw it
Dinwiddie,
was, yeah, it went down a lot.
questionable.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely that's probably one of the bigger reasons why I stayed off anyways. But it's tough to take an under when you're getting the worst of the line too.
That's a fact. They say Dinwiddie questionable with a quote unquote illness. What you didn't got over there doing, Dinwiddie? What's what you got to them Paris girls over there, man? They didn't got to his head. They didn't got to his head over there, man. My guys say Cavs all day. Vaughn rotations are weird. Much points the teams would impress in Paris. I can't say, Ronald. I know that sometimes like the teams, like when the NBA wants to put on a showcase, you might see a over. You might see some overs because they want to see an exciting
Mhm.
game for the fans over there. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's a lot of different angles to look at this game. These are the type of games that I like to watch and enjoy. And it's just, you know what I'm saying, maybe even make some live bets as well. If there is
yeah,
a team that gets down by 10, then it maybe be a good bet to bet the other team. Like this game might go down to the wire here. But yeah, I'd be very interested to see how the Nets do in this particular game, because we know that they weren't playing the best basketball before they left. They're actually coming off a horrible loss to the Portland Trailblazers. They were laying 9.5 points and lost that game by 7 points in overtime. So maybe the Nets were looking ahead to this, couldn't wait to get out of Brooklyn. Now, neither team has played for 3 days, so be very interesting to see what happens in this particular game. Ronald, if you had to bet, I don't really like when people say gun to your head, but if you had a free
yeah.
bet here, what would you take on this one?
Man, that's tough. I mean, I would probably stay away from the under just because the number's gone away. But one thing that I saw in the chat was Allen rebounds. I think that makes
Mm-hmm.
a lot of sense here. If I'm looking towards a lot of missed shots, I think the ability to get rebounds is going to go towards him. Yeah, for the most part. Obviously, people are going to look towards the revenge angle as well. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would probably say that would be a good bet. That would still be uh, at a good range, I guess you would say.
Yeah, man, I remember. So, second game of the season was the first game of the season, but it was like the second day of the regular season. These two teams faced, because the season started October 24th, right, Ronald? If
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah.
So the Cavs went to Brooklyn, and obviously they had everybody. They had well, they didn't have Jared Allen. They had Mobley, they had Garland, they had Mitchell. They only won by 1 point versus the
Mhm.
Nets, but the Nets still had Ben Simmons in there
Simmons
as
was in.
well.
Yep.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
had Ben Simmons. So it's a tough game, man. To be honest with you, I can't. If I had a free bet, I'd probably go with the Nets plus the point, especially since it's the contrarian spot and like it's literally going against the whole world.
Yeah.
I'd probably go with the Nets, but it's not a game that I'm super not. I'm excited about the game, but I'm saying like a bet that we'll talk about the game that I have that I feel truly within my soul is the right side and that we're gonna cash with. But this isn't the one. Y'all know me. For me to make a bet, I gotta absolutely love the spot, and this is a great game to talk about, great game to watch. Whenever you
Mhm.
guys are betting, I hope you guys cash. In all honesty, but this is one that I'm gonna sit out and just kind of watch. I really do feel like it's a lot of volatility in this game, but um, I do feel like there's a let me see. I feel like there's probably a ton of money on the Cavs, especially with Dinwiddie getting ground. So if Dinwiddie ends up playing in this one, this might have been a little injury report manipulation. Let's throw somebody
Mhm.
on the injury report to try to get even more money on the Cavs, man. But let's see what happens in this one. I'd lean towards the Nets, who are coming off a bad loss. Cavs coming off 3 straight home games and home wins as well. I'd lean Nets plus 3.5. Let's get over here to the U.S. games, the games that are played on U.S. soil here. You see what I'm saying? Bucks laying 4.5 points at the house versus the Boston Celtics in this one. Ronald total sitting at 243. Bucks coming off a couple of horrible losses. The loss versus the Rockets wasn't that bad, but they lost versus the Jazz. I know the Jazz been balling, but you hear Giannis talking about it, bro. We can't be getting down 33 in the first half to
Yeah.
anybody. So they're probably the team that's coming in here a little bit more pissed off. Dame did miss that game, but you can't really have any excuses. Dame is back this time around. Campaign, a little funny looking as he like think he gonna be back in here. That guy look funny as hell, bro. What you think in this one, Ronald? How we looking at this game?
Yeah, I was looking at this game yesterday. Obviously, I think the spot says Bucks, right? The Celtics second leg of back-to-back games, coming off OT. But like I said, it's a spot situation here that I would lean towards the Bucks. But we know Horford's going to sit, at least one half of a back-to-back set, and then KP is going to be coming in fresh tonight. I just really can't see myself backing the Bucks either the way they've been playing, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They failed to cover 5 straight games. They've gone under their team total, I think, in 6 straight too. So they're not meeting the expectations of the books, as far as their offense goes. I looked at the Celtics on the second leg of back-to-back games, specifically when Horford is out. They're actually 4-0 to the over. That was kind of the way that I was leaning last night when I was looking at this towards the over. I know the other part, like I said, the Bucks offense has been struggling, but this is a game that they should be able to come up for, right? This is a key game, a potential playoff matchup against the Celtics here. Another thing that I was looking at, right? This is also the second time all year long that the Celtics have been a dog. The first time was against the Kings, and the Celtics were actually in a similar spot. They were on the first in a back-to-back, but they were in the first leg of back-to-back games in that spot. They ended up winning that game 144 to 119, right? Like it's these things where sometimes you don't expect the Celtics to show up, but they do, even when they're shorthanded or things like that. To me, I think the best way to go here it was the over, but man, I just looked at the numbers at 243 now. This is a high number for a Boston game. So that's the only reason why I would stay away. But the only way that I could look is towards the over in this one.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. You know what? I did the podcast Action Network last night. My guy Sean Little, he's on the Bucks team total over, and it makes a lot of sense. I don't know about the full game. Y'all know I don't bet totals, so I don't even look at them shits. It's just not my thing. But it makes a ton of sense here for the Bucks team total over, or just in general, Ronald. You look at it. This is back-to-back third game in 4 nights. That sweet spot, the sweet NBA betting spot. 5 games in 7 nights for the Boston Celtics. This is an absolute horror. I love the Celtics. I think this is the best team in the NBA by far when they have everybody in there talking about Drew Holiday, Porzingis, everybody. So first off, the game went into overtime last night, which I mean they playing the Wolves, a sleepy Wolves team, and the Wolves really probably should have won that game. But let's look at the minutes here. Drew Holiday, which we know he's going to be turned up coming back to Milwaukee, but I really wouldn't be surprised if these guys are running on fumes in this game, Ronald. 5 games in 7 nights for the Celtics. They have to travel as well, so it's a home road back-to-back. We know that Al Horford doesn't play back-to-backs, but Porzingis sat last night, so Porzingis is in here today. Drew Holiday last night, 40 minutes. Derek White, 43 minutes. Jason Tatum, 42 minutes. Jaylen Brown, 43 minutes. You see what I'm saying? So this game could really catch up to these guys. I know that the Bucks are horrible. I was joking with Ronald right before the show. This Bucks team is the worst 25-12 team that I've ever fucking saw. I'm talking about that I've ever fucking saw. Their defense is absolute ass. But with them being at the house and have a major rest advantage, I'm dead serious though, bro. They have a major rest advantage. They're at the house. They're pissed coming off a game where they got absolutely smoked from start to finish versus the Utah Jazz. We know that the Celtics are the better team, but I understand why the Bucks are laying points here. It's a bounce back spot. major race advantage. And that fifth game in 7 nights, in my opinion, is always a phase spot, especially when you're coming off an overtime game as well. So if I'm not mistaken, I mean, you may even see even more injuries here for the Celtics. It's really hard to trust the Bucks, but I must say in this particular game, I think the Celtics are dog, rightfully so here. I wouldn't back the Celtics today, in my opinion. I would take the Bucks, or I would just stay off the game. That's just the way I would look at it. If you like the Celtics, maybe first half or something, but you got to keep in mind that Giannis and company is going to be pissed. And you also got to keep in mind that the Celtics could really run out of gas in this game. Maybe if the game didn't go into overtime last night, they could still have some in the tank. But the fact that they had to go back and fight and claw and win that game versus the Timberwolves, it just makes it even a more horrible spot for the Celtics here tonight, Ronald.
Yeah.
So I wish we could look at the query how teams perform in fifth game in 7 nights coming off an overtime game the day before. I know that it'll be super hard, but I don't like this spot for the Celtics whatsoever. Horrible spot
fifth
in
game
my
in
opinion.
7 nights. Yeah, I could probably look that up. It'll take a little bit though. I could probably do it between the next couple games, but then. Yeah, I think overall, from what I've seen when third and fourth, 5 and 7, all that stuff, yeah, those are always fade spots, especially when they're on the road. And then also if they're coming off OT too, that just brings a lot of fatigue factor to it, right?
Facts.
Yeah, the
Yep.
fatigue factor too. But there's situations where that fatigue factor it affects the defense more so than the offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that the Bucks are not a great defensive team, so if they're gonna pace up and teams, it could be like a layup drill type of thing where they both teams go over. And we know, I think throughout the season, this season, I think if you look at if at least one of the teams are on the second leg of back-to-back games, it's been trending over a lot. I think like 60% to the over if at least one of the teams are on the second leg of back-to-back games. So a lot of things really trend towards the over. It's just for me, with this being a 240 plus game, it's a really high total for a Celtics game.
Facts.
But yeah, I think, like I said, though, second leg of back-to-back games, Al Horford out. The Celtics are 4-0 to the over, so I can only lean towards that direction.
What do you think about that Bucks team total over, Ronald? What do you think about that? Look, I didn't bet it. It was
Yeah,
just a little. Damn, that total is going down even further for the Nets Cavs. It's down to
yeah.
221 now.
I think I actually think that the better way to go from a team total perspective is actually the Celtics team total over, just because they're the dog, right? So they're gonna have a lower total than you're used to, right? You get
Mm-hmm.
Horford out of the way, that means they're gonna push the pace a little bit. You're gonna get more offensive minded guys onto the court, right? You're probably gonna see, in my opinion, quicker offensive movement on their side, probably more 3-point shooting. You're gonna get more guard play as well, and you know that the Bucks defense, their guard play is where you could take advantage of, right? So I think if from a team total perspective, I think the Celtics team total over would be a better way to look.
Something's going on here. I'm not sure what's going on, but this line is plummeting right now. The line is going down. So it's 4.5 before to start the show. It's going down to 4. It's going down to 3.5 at Superbook, at
Oh, I see
3
it
at
too. Yeah.
Bookmaker. Yeah, so it's starting to get popped. If this shit keeps going down, I might have to bet the Bucks here. I'm just trying to see if somebody out for. So we
I
know
don't
that
even see it,
Porzingis.
dude.
We know
I
that
know it's not.
Porzingis. We
I
know
know it's
that
not
Porzingis
campaign
is
moving the line.
come on, bro. My guy said campaign looks like my
I
guy
know it's
say he
not
look like
campaign moving the
my
line.
guy say he look like Sid from Ice Age, bro. Bro, tripped out. uh,
Uh,
no, I would play
um,
Bucks -3. I'm not gonna lie to you. On the full game line, I would play the Milwaukee Bucks -3. I think this is their spot here. This is a horrible spot here, to be honest with you, to back the Celtics here. I love the Celtics. I think they're light years better than the Milwaukee Bucks, just off rest alone, just off of energy that you're able to put out into the game alone. I think the Bucks probably go over their team total. This shit start keep on coming down. It's a -3 at DraftKings.
uh-huh.
Um,
Even the totals keeps pumping up too on this game.
yeah, probably because
244. We
Porzingis
see
was in.
244 now.
I love when news comes out that people that are smart or that are on it already know. We already knew that Horford's gonna be out. We already knew that Porzingis is gonna be in. So maybe that's why the line is going down. But we already knew that. I told you that shit before this shit even, you know what I'm saying? So KPN dropped the line. I don't think it should have, to be honest with you, man. But I can only look Bucks here. Simple, my guy. Let's get to the next game. Let's go over to the streets of OKC here. Ronald, Thunder land 12.5 at the house versus the Portland Trailblazers in this one. Thunder, a nice comeback win last night versus the Miami Heat. Obviously, they're traveling from Miami to OKC, so this is a road home back-to-back. They're coming off a 4-game road trip. They're light years better than the Portland Trailblazers. They do lose an hour, though. Just flying from Miami to OKC, you lose a whole hour in there. See what I'm saying? People don't really think about that type of shit, but Thunder, light years better. Last time they beat this team by 43 points earlier this season. I believe it was back in November. How you looking at this game, Ronald? Do the Thunder smack these guys up with ease once again?
Yeah, I actually looked towards the total. I got ahead of the line. Luckily, I got 233 last night on the over. I'm seeing 236s now, so hopefully it's going in the right direction. For me, I look towards the Blazers. I know it's a big number here. First leg of back-to-back games, they're actually 0-6 straight up, 1-5 ATS in that spot. The Thunder, they've gone over. The reason why I like the over is because they've gone over in 5 straight games and in 9 of their last 11 as well. And if you look at it, it's because I looked at last 10 games specifically. They're number 1 in offensive rating in the last 10 games, and their defense is giving up a lot of points too. I know most of those games that they gave up a lot of points were on the road, but this is their first game back home. Usually that's a fade spot as well. So if you put all those things together, it seems like an over spot completely on both sides of the ball. The Thunder on the second leg of back-to-back games, 3-1 ATS, 4-0 to the over as well. And also they're 4-0 to the team total over. Like I said, their offense is number 1 in the league. And you go throughout the season, this is a spot that they've been scoring a lot of points as well. So I think that obviously the numbers kind of went up a little bit too much, but I still feel like that. And you mentioned too, they put up 134 against the Blazers in November. But the thing about that game too, the Blazers were missing a ton of offense that game. There was I think Anthony was out, right? Brogdon was out. Scoot was out as well, and that's the reason why I think the total is 12 points higher this time around than it was last time, is because all that offense was gone. Also, on the Thunder side, Jalen Williams was out too, so that's something that affected the total as well. So for me, I can only look towards the over. I still think there's value towards the team total over for the Thunder as well. I just think that there's gonna be a ton of points here.
Facts. Yeah, Thunder, these guys are light years, but this Blazers team is ass. I'll tell you straight, and they don't really have a center as well. So it at least nice to have Aiden out there or somebody. Got Doo-Wop Reith out there. He's really the only center on the squad, man. So it's gonna be real hard for them to stop anything at the basket. This Thunder team, when they're rolling, they'll drive to the basket every single time. That's one thing I like about them. SGA has been absolutely balling. I'm a contrarian guy. I like to go against the grain. I'd like to take the Blazers here. This line was at 13.5. It opened up at 14. It was down to 13.5 last night, coming down to 12.5. I know that it's a spot play. It would be a spot play here. So I can't really get there with the Blazers, but the spot would to say that you don't want to lay 12.5 with the home team here. It's coming off a 4-game road trip. That's off of back-to-back as well, in a game where they had to spend a lot of energy to come back from. I don't know if they got down double digits, but I know they were down 7-8 points to Miami Heat, came back and won that game. And you were in Miami as well, got to fly back to the house. So it could be a spot where the Thunder win by single digits. It could also be a spot where they win by 20 on accident. That's how the Blazers don't have a horrible squad. They just don't care about playing basketball. That's why it's really hard to make money with the tanking teams. They could be up by 10 points, and then before you know it, they're down 15 because they don't want to win. So it's really hard for me to bet these type of teams. The spot would say back the Blazers, but this is just a different age of the NBA where teams just, like I say, they just don't want to win. They could come out. We saw the Detroit Pistons have a 20-point lead in the first quarter and still lose the game by 20 points. They fucking gave up a 30-4 run. These teams don't care about playing basketball. So I can't get there. I lean towards the Blazers. I like the direction that the line's going down, but I probably won't get there with them. Maybe if they had Aiden or maybe if they had Moses Brown in there, I could possibly get there, but I'd lean Blazers. I could see you. I see you out there, JP, but I lean their way, but I'm not getting there. I'm not getting there, Ronald.
That's exactly how I feel too. Lean their direction, but I think more so if we lean that direction, that means they're going to be able to score points, right? They're not going to limit the Thunder, so that's the reason why I like the over as well.
Let me see what the team total is. Team total 110 for the Blazers, and open up at 109.5. It's going up to 110.5, 111.5 at some spots. So
Mhm.
maybe it could be a spot where this full game goes over, and the Blazers, you're gonna need the Blazers to go over their team total over if you want the game to go over. I think in my opinion here. So maybe Blazers team total over might not be a bad look here. I'd still lean their way on the points as well. Let's get to a really interesting game here, Ronald. Mavs getting 4 points at the house versus the New York Knickerbockers, and this one laying 4 on the road. This line opened up as actually the Knicks getting a point and a half on the road, and then Luka was ruled out, and it started to move to 3 to the Knicks, and then the money has taken it up to -4. You're probably not going to find a single person out there that likes the Mavs today, especially with no Luka here, Ronald. They have lost back-to-back games versus the Mavs.
Mhm.
Jalen Brunson didn't play in the last one though, but they had the Knicks have also not seen the Mavs while they've had Kyrie Irving as well. How you looking at this game, my brother?
Yeah, this one was actually pretty tough too. I was kind of leaning towards the under in this one. I know the Knicks been smashing since the trade, and it's their defense that's been carrying them, right? They're 5-0 straight up, 5-0 ATS, also 5-0 to the under since the trade. They're averaging opponents are averaging 97.4 points per game against them. Prior to the trade, they were giving up 114 points per game. Obviously, the sample size is really small. The other thing too that I think about in this game here is there's going to be some type of negative regression here, right? There,
Fact. That's a
I don't
fact.
think they're going to be. I don't think the Knicks are that great of a team from a a bigger picture. I mean, I think they did improve because OG fits the mold of a Tom Thibodeau team, right?
Hmm.
But the other thing is these last 5 games that they dominated, they caught teams in bad spots. What I looked at was they are two teams second leg of back to back games. Sixers first leg of back to back games. Minnesota, it was a bad spot, a bad travel spot. They had to travel after the new year, and then the Blazers were on the fifth game of the road trip, second game in the East Coast time zone. So that's also a fade spot as well on the Blazers side. So they've really been catching teams in bad spots, and which is why they've kind of dominated. It looks like the numbers show that they've been dominating. If you look at the Mavs side, they do have some momentum going into this game, right? But the whole injury thing kind of plays out with against the Grizzlies, right? Ja announced out. We always talk about this, right? Injured player theory. Everybody
Facts.
stepped up in that one game, and
That's
that's
a
what
fact.
happens, right? The Mavs ended up losing outright as 9.5 point favorites. But if you look at it, from a bigger picture, they did get some momentum coming into that game. They've also been home for quite some time, right? This is their fifth
Hmm.
straight home game. Luka is out. One thing that I did check since Kyrie joined the team, when Luka is out and he's in, they're 4-2 straight up, 5-1 ATS, 4-2 to the under. But the thing that stands out the most is each time that happened, all of their opponents went under their team total. So it kind of shows that they're a much better defensive team without Luka in the lineup and Kyrie is in there. So I think one way that I could think is negative regression from the Knicks side. Also, the defense steps up on the Mavs side. So a team total under or even a full game under as well. So the other thing too, from an offensive perspective, with Luka out, they're not going to have as many free throw attempts. So that's one thing that I also saw when Luka's out. That's how much he affects the line, right? The shooting percentages don't change as much, but the fact that he goes to the free throw line so much and impacts the game in that way, that's the reason why they go over a little bit more. So to me, with him out, the under looks like the best way to go.
Yeah, I need to see who the refs are on this game. This is a ref type of game here. Let me see if it's oh shit. Let's see. So you got Bill Kennedy, Sean Wright, Danielle Scott. I'm gonna have to look a little deeper into the refs and how they call these games or whatever. But I have a lot of thoughts on this game, and people aren't gonna like it. I know that everybody's gonna be on the Knicks here so y'all know how I feel when they ruled a star player out the day before the game. I just feel like they want everybody on one side. Now the Knicks are the better team. I'll tell you this straight up. The Knicks are the better team. They play the more defense. They're the deeper squad. They're in better form right now. What 5-0 straight up and against the spread last five versus the they're just 5-0 against the spread last
Yeah,
five. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Versus everybody. But I just know I do feel like, I mean, you said some key things there, Ronald. I do feel like they're due to regress at some point. You're not gonna win. I know OG came over there and changes things, but you're not gonna win every game. There's a
Mhm.
lot of angles to peel back in this game. You got Jalen Brunson coming back to Dallas. The Mavs will hate him forever. I'll tell you that. He's gonna want to come back and ball in Dallas, but the whole team hates Jalen Brunson. I'll tell you that. They didn't even like the fact that he didn't even try to they didn't even allow he didn't even allow them to give them an offer to stay over there. This could be a game where Luka being out could actually be good for the Mavs. People in the chat saying they like that Kyrie owns the Knicks. It's gonna be tough for them for tonight. I said all that to say if they get Derek Lively back in this game, because I'm not gonna lie, if they don't have Lively, I think it's gonna be a really hard path for them to try to bang with Hardenstein and guys like that for the boards, because they don't have much size right now. So Lively, I believe, is doubtful. Him and Maxi Kleba are doubtful here, but they're not out. If Lively gets in, I think that the Mavs could possibly have a chance to win. And remember what happened last game. Things flip, man. It's all about the law of averages here, Ronald. Last time versus the Grizzlies, no Ja Morant, no Triple J. The Mavs didn't even try to win the game. It's almost like they just laid down for the. I mean, this is my show, so I can say whatever I want, but I think they just laid down. In all honesty, they just laid down. Now, what usually happens after games where teams lay down? The next game, now they're getting all the calls. Now it's their time to mess up everybody's money. When I saw that Luka's out yesterday, I said, everybody's going to take the Knicks. And I just thought in my head, I said, watch the Mavs fuck around and win this game, bro. First off, nobody's going to want to take them because they just lost to the Grizzlies. Everybody's going to want to take the Knicks because they're balling right now, and no Luka. And I just know that I know how the NBA works, and I would only look towards Mavs here. I don't want to talk anybody off that's on the Knicks, because I'm a firm believer of you want to go with your gut. That's what you're going to sleep better with at night. And if the Knicks win and cover and win by 20 points, you're going to be like, damn, I knew it. You see what I'm saying? So always go with your gut. Don't let me talk you off. But the way that I bet NBA and me noticing the patterns and staying calculated and going with my gut, you see what I'm saying? Trusting my instincts, it would be Mavs plus a 4 or nothing for me here. If Lively's in this game, I think there's a pathway for the Mavs to still win this game outright, guys. So that's how I'm looking at the game. Mavs plus 4 is the only way that I can look in this game. Just kind of like a bounce back off of a game where you laid down for the books. And I think sometimes they play a little bit better without Luka out there ball hogging. But you need Lively. You do need Lively, because they're just Powell he's just not enough. You see what I'm saying? But anything else on this game, Ronald, before we get to the last one?
No, I haven't taken that under yet in this game, but I think it's something that's going to probably make my card, just because a lot of things that you mentioned, also just the fact that if the Knicks cover, right? If the Knicks cover, they're probably going to do it with defense, right? If the Mavs get it done without Luka, they're also going to get it done defensively. Also, the negative regression that we talked about offensively, we know. What the trade was supposed to do was get them better defensively, even though they gave up offense, right? Their depth is not going to keep them in these games for a longer period of time. Obviously, it's only a 5-game sample size, but their bench play, their bench offense is going to struggle eventually without IQ in that second unit. So to me, I think there's negative regression coming from their side and defense on both sides. So the under is going to be the way to go, in my opinion. I'm probably going to take that right after the show.
That's a good look there. That's a good look, man. Man, watch out for guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. and shit like that in this game, man. I'm telling you the Mavs hate Jalen Brunson. I'm telling you that. They have a real hate in their heart. Jason Kidd, the whole organization, they can't stand that little motherfucker, man. So I know that the Knicks are due for regression. Doesn't mean it's going to happen in this game, but me personally, I could only look towards the Mavs plus the 4 in this game. Last game up, my guys, but always go with your gut. Always go with your gut. Trust your instincts and notice the patterns, my guys. Last game up. Let's go over to the streets of LA here, guys. Lakers. Well, I mean, the line opened up at 1.5. It's down to basically a pick, so we'll call it a pick, but it's just hard for me to put that in the banners. But basically, you just pick the winner of the game, and that's what I did. And I picked the Suns to win this fucking game, Ronald. I'm all over it. I need the Suns to win this game. I'm probably going to add them in first half as well. I like the Suns in this game. I think this is a Suns type of game. Lakers also coming off a game where they probably shouldn't have won. Think the NBA evens shit up in this one, man. Give me the Suns plus 1. I took them plus 1.5. I mean, it didn't matter what I took them. I took them on the money line. I need the Suns to win this fucking game, Ronald. They're winning this fucking game by double digits, and they finna come out here and smack the Lakers from start to finish. That's what finna happen, Ronald. What you like here?
No, I'm glad you're on the same page. I was talking to you right before the show. I was like, man, hopefully you're on the Suns too, because I took them last night as well. The Lakers, obviously, they haven't been the same since the in-season tournament, right? I know they picked up some momentum winning the last 2 games in a row, but if you look at it situationally, the Clippers were on the first leg of back-to-back games, and then they caught the Raptors in a bad spot too. Raptors' 10th straight game with travel going into that one Also, the third game on the West Coast, first leg of back-to-back games. So it was a bad spot for the Raptors as well, and they only won by what, 1 point, right? Was it one or something like that? But um, I think the other thing to think about too, when the Lakers, one of the trends that I looked at, when the Lakers are less rested than their opponent, and then the books expect a high scoring total. I checked totals greater than 230. They're only 1-4 straight up, 0-5 against the spread. So that kind of points towards the Sun side as well. The team that they beat was the Spurs. Obviously, they should be able to beat the Spurs in that spot. But the rest of the teams are somewhat comparable teams to the Suns that they lost to and failed to cover. The Kings, Mavs, Thunder, Pelicans, these are all in conference teams. And if you look at the Sun side, like you said, I think that this is a spot where the Lakers have, I think they won all three matchups so far against the Suns,
They
and
are
all
triple
those three
revenge.
matchups, they never played the big three.
Facts.
Right?
That's a
That's
fact.
another thing to mention here. I know we're gonna look at it and say, all right, well, since the Suns have had the big three in those games, they're actually 0-6 ATS. It's a bad look from a trend perspective, right? But if you look at it from an angle, a spot perspective too, right? We already talked about how the Lakers, kind of haven't looked good, especially since the in-season tournament. But if you look at it from a rest advantage standpoint, the Suns have a rest advantage before and after the game, and this is something I think I talked to Ski about this too. We've been kind of following this trend for a few years, but since 2018, so teams in the middle of a road trip and have the rest advantage before and after the game, they're actually hitting at a 70% clip since 2018. So this is something that we've been kind of following for quite a few years. So that's a spot that the Suns are in today. Also, the whole revenge angle, first time seeing the big three against the Lakers. A lot of things really for me point towards the Suns in this one.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's just this is my intuition coming through. It's not a ton of numbers and shit like that that's gonna back this up, but I'm on the Suns. I really don't have a lot to say about it. That's what I'm on. I'll live and die with this play. This obviously a triple revenge spot. This is the first time them facing the big three. I looked at all that, Ronald. I like that you got the trends since 2018 to back it up as well. It all makes sense. I think the Suns are winning this game with in fashion as well. This is a coming out party for the Suns tonight, late game on TNT. I know the Lakers been winning some games. I know that the refs tend to help them out, but I don't think it happens tonight. I think this is a Sun spot. I'm probably going to add the first half as well. I already took them on the spread and on the money line. I'm probably going to add Suns in the first half. I think this is a game where they come out with emphasis early and often in this particular game, and possibly get a game where you see the Lakers offense not look as well oiled in this one, my guys. So give me the Suns. Suns outshining bright. I'm trying to shine with them, motherfuckers. I like the Suns in this one, Ronald. Let's get out of here, my brother. We've been in here 36 minutes. Let's try to get to this cash here, man. Let's recap the plays, Ronald. What you liking on the card, leans, whatever you bet today, Ronald. Best bet, however you like to go, man.
So I did take the Blazers Thunder last night, 233. I think it's really close to. I have it at 237, right? So it's really close to where it is. That the value is pretty much gone there. But I think, obviously, I'm with you with the Suns. I took them +1 last night, and then the one that I'm gonna add is actually the under and the Knicks and the Mavs game. I see 235s. I think it's going in the wrong direction, so that gives us a little bit more value as well. So I would say those two, the latter two would be the ones that I would give out here. I still lean Blazers and Thunder over in that number. It's just, obviously you don't want to give out the worst of the number.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Suns for me, my guys. Suns money line for me. I'm probably going to add the first half as well. Other games that I'll be leaning, I lean Nets +4. I lean Bucks -3. Very small lean to Blazers over their team total 111.5 and +12.5. And then also lean towards the Mavs +4. I'm going to monitor it, see what's up with Derek Lively and that one. That would be a J Money against the world spot there, man. There's not many people that you're going to find that likes the Mavs today, especially with no Luka. But I always think fishy shit happens when they rule a star player out a whole day before the games. Not questionable, not maybe out, not none of that shit. No, he's out the day before the game just to put the info out there, guys. So we always notice in the patterns. We're trusting our instincts, making calculated decisions, not having any regrets, guys. Whatever you're betting today, make sure you don't have any regrets. It's all love, man. If you really do like the show and the info they were giving out, man, we got to have Ronald on this motherfucker more often, man. But it's hit the the like button, subscribe to the channel if you really do like the show, my guys. Let's get this cash, man. We will win. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hope everybody has a great day. Hope you cash your bets. Hit the like button, my guys. Let's get 1,000 likes on this show. I really do think this was a great show. We had over 900 people watching live. Hit the like button. Go check out Ronald as well, my guys, on YouTube. Go follow him right now at UCapper Sports. Post a lot of good info over there, trends, all that good stuff, man. My brother. Let's get this cash. We out. Hit that like button. Let's get 1,000 likes. We out. Let's go.